Thank you, Eriko. Hello, everyone. I'm Rasija Nambiar, and today I'll continue with the How-To series on clinicaltrials.gov. Since past few months, we have been doing a How-To series during each Research Matters that has covered topics on ct.gov registration, results reporting, annual updates, and ct.gov record updates. We have the ct.gov support office website, which also includes useful ct.gov related guidance documents and decision trees. So be sure to check this website as well when you check the sponsor investigator website. In our previous series, we have also talked about how to do annual updates and also how to do the record updates. Then we gave a talk on how to avoid common pitfalls, part one of our series, to provide you tips and recommendations to avoid major comments, which are basically stipulations from the ct.gov reviewer. I'll, I will continue this topic to provide you some more additional tips and recommendations. So let's get started. The sixth observation is deletion or modification of outcome after study initiation. We notice that some investigators are deleting or modifying outcome measures after the study initiation. You need to be careful with this because journal editors consider it outcome switching, known as reporting bias. With these screenshots of the sections within the ct.gov record on the public site, we want to bring to your attention that with one click, anyone can see the deleted outcomes as shown here. And it can raise red flags with the journal editors for outcome switching. And editors will seek for the justification for removing the outcomes during peer review. So if you make changes to outcome measures during the course of the trial through a protocol amendment, that usually happens, right? So for this sake, task force recommends to leave these original outcomes as is, but provide an explanation. For example, you can also mention something like this outcome was removed due to test no longer available or something similar. In this way, we can avoid the appearance of outcome switching. We also recently received inquiries from our investigators about their internal audit team, who found some discrepancies in outcome measure within the ct.gov record and the protocol. So by having the explanation within the measure description field in the record, like one example in the screenshot on the bottom left-hand side of the slide, at the time of audit, if they inquire about the discrepancies, you can direct them to this section within the record which explains those changes. The next common pitfall is insufficient supervision of study team member entering data into ct.gov. Our recommendation is to carefully select a qualified delegate and improve supervision. Then the next one is being reluctant to reanalyze the data for the purpose of ct.gov. So ct.gov requires data to be reported in a certain way. For example, when you report summary results, you need to report the appropriate measure type and its precision. For example, mean with standard deviation, median with interquartile range, etc. Sometimes the PI doesn't have it at hand and then they have to reanalyze it. At such times, in general, we have encountered some PIs who show such reluctance. So our recommendation is that the PIs understand the consequence of non-compliance, for example, civil penalties. The other observation is results not reported for terminated studies. Please note that any data that is collected, even if it is for one subject, it needs to be reported. We recommend that you use the analysis population description section within the record to explain why rest of the data is not available. But if no participant was enrolled and the trial was terminated, then the enrollment number to be updated will be 0, and no results would be required to be submitted in such cases. So please understand that terminated studies are still required to report results if any data were collected. The last observation that I would like to talk about today is responsible party not taking responsibilities. We have observed that for some of the records in the past, the study team member who is the record owner has been releasing the record. But the system does not have any option to list anybody other than the sponsor or sponsor investigator or the PI as the responsible party in order to release the record. As per UT Southwestern policy, since PI is expected to be the responsible party, PI must be the one to approve and release the record after verifying all the clinical trial information that has been entered, as PI is legally responsible for the errors. In our next Research Matters session, we will come back with some more tips and recommendations. Now let's quickly review the metrics. According to FEDER Non-Compliance Trial Tracker website, UT Southwestern as a whole, our compliance rate or proportion was 68.2% in 2020. UT Southwestern leadership was obviously very concerned at that time. With everyone's efforts, we were able to achieve 100% compliance since January 2021, and we are going strong. We have been keeping 100% compliance since then. Again, important to note that this 100% compliance is for FDA regulated applicable clinical trial results only and does not include NIH funded trial that are not applicable clinical trials or trials that are voluntarily registered. Please note, UT Southwestern leadership are periodically reviewing non-compliance trial tracker website and particularly interested in identifying repeated offenders. Because this is a public website, this reflects academic institutions' reputation. This shows overall real-time compliance for all UT Southwestern records. Blue indicates total number of records. The green indicates records without any issues and also includes few records, currently around 7 of them, that the study teams are either working on, that is never released, or records are under ct.gov review. Then the orange indicates non-FEDER problem records, and the red ones are the non-compliant ones, that is the FEDER problem records. Here is the contact information for ct.gov related issues. And here is a selected list of resources. So please also check out the renewed sponsor investigator website as well. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I can take some questions if you have any, or if you have any questions later on or need any one-on-one consultation, please feel free to email us and we can always set up a Teams meeting for that. Thank you. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you, Rasija. So we'll just give Eric a moment to pull up his slides.